Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also to click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you're seeing and want to see more. So we're going to have a look into the tumultuous season that has gone on for Toulouse Rugby League for their quest to get into the Super League, as they've just announced another game postponed for the COVID-19 pandemic issues. And we'll go through a timeline and what's next for all these games that are going to come up for Toulouse and how they're going to manage going forward. So it was announced today that the Bradford versus Toulouse game in Toulouse has been cancelled due to COVID restrictions. That's 2 weeks tomorrow on June the 19th. And France remains on the government's no-go zone, to be honest, the amber list, which was announced on the June the 3rd, meaning that anyone returning from France is required to isolate for at least 5 days on their return. In line with the RFL's board's previous decision, part-time teams are not required to play in France due to the impact on their jobs outside of the game. So the game cannot be rearranged because there's no available slots in the season, and Toulouse did not enter any cup competition and will therefore use the weekend of July the 17th and 18th to host either Featherstone or Newcastle, provided France is on the UK's green list by then. So in the UK it's red, amber, green, the list of how they deemed each country, and the standby is basic. Amber is standby, red no, green come and enjoy the sun. But at this moment in time France is on the amber, so quarantines are essential. It's just one of those things in the world that we're living in at this time. Go get your jabs. Anyway, at this stage, and providing France is by them reclassified as a green list country, the Featherstone game will be rearranged for that weekend unless Rovers reach the 1895 Cup final, in which case Newcastle will be the game arranged. So that's 3 games that that Toulouse were not able to fulfill due to these COVID restrictions, unfortunately. They even played a couple of games in Swinton as the double header, which is unfortunate for the Toulouse fans, as they could have seen the fans, they could have seen their team play, and with their team going great guns, it's a chance that they can see them before they get into the Super League. So they're still under a part-time issue, I'm afraid. So it's unlike the London game, which would have been the 4th one, as London were the ones that chose not to go on the April the 17th game. Toulouse were awarded a 24-0 victory because London couldn't fill the fixture. Wouldn't fill the fixture was the better way of putting it. But there have been ways around it. For instance, like I said, the 2 games that I played in Sale for before and after the Swinton games. It's just how it goes sometimes. It's unfortunate, and it's, like I said, it's the world that we're living in currently, which we're hoping that it will all change on the 21st of June, if lockdowns are completely stopped and they move towards a normal life, if we can, in the UK, can go ahead. But as this time, the Bradford Bulls game is cancelled and the fixture is not going to be fulfilled, which is a shame. So Toulouse were earlier in the season trying to fulfill as many games as possible because they want to get in the Super League. They can keep that full-time. They can go into full-time status properly, and not be subjected to any penalisations against the teams that they're playing against. As Super League clubs allow clubs to go into different countries because their bubbles are more stringent, shall we put it that way, and they're not inviting because they're playing full-time teams all the time. That would have been the benefit of playing in the Super League. For instance, when Toulouse played their games at Haywood Road in Sale, the French club covered the cost of staging the matches and also paid for production costs to enable it to be shown on the ARLC app, so it could be transmitted to the fans and also all fans in the UK. There was an upside for them, as they would have got 90% of the pay-per-view income from our league, but they'd have to put the money up first. Just one of those things. It's frustrating, I know, and time slots are time slots. Excuse me. But it's a case of part-time and full-time sort of situation. It's just one more. It's unfortunate. But we're going to move on, and Toulouse more than likely will be in the Super League next year. That's what I think. So our next story is all about hindsight being 2020. Yes, that's a flippant remark, but Peter VLandys has come out and said, we should have consulted players on the high tackle crackdown. This is in a statement from the NRL.com website, as Australian Rugby League Commission Chairman Peter VLandys acknowledged there should have been more consultation with players before an introduction of the NRL's crackdown on high tackles. An interview was done on Sen Radio. VLandys said it had been a mistake not to discuss the changes with the players before this year's Magic Round. VLandys and the ARLC had no intention of being disrespectful to the players, and the rule interpretations was only changed to protect the health of their playing group. Hindsight is a great tool. You can do everything in your life better, VLandys told host Andrew Voss on Sen 1170 Breakfast. I made mistakes every day. Pause there was for a sneeze. And I'd love to get my chance again to reverse them. In this instance, yes, we could have done things better. We should have probably consulted the players more rightly. The irony of the situation is, we respect all players so much that we took the hard call to protect them. So, he's saying, yes, it's the right decision, but we should have told the players this beforehand, a long time beforehand. Which is what any normal people would have done. Right, we're going to do this. Who are the people that are going to be affected? The players and the coaching and the fans. Let's put out a statement that this is coming into effect this week, a month before. That's planning. This was knee-jerk. This is probably because unfortunately an Australian Rugby League player, former player should I say, has contracted serious illness in regards to head trauma. So they're looking long term. Yes, there's short term pain with long term gain, but awareness is better when these rules are going on, because the fans will know what's happening and you don't get the boos. And coaching don't have to keep repeating every time that someone goes into a tackle. Ball contact first, ball contact first, ball contact, ball contact. It would have been made clear. if we had these plans, I reckon these plans are knee-jerk reaction. There weren't any scope for what has gone on before the season. They're just knee-jerk now. So on June the 1st, it was reported that rugby league legend Steve Mortimer revealed dementia diagnosis. It's a perspective that only a health condition like some dementia can give. Steve Mortimer, one of the rugby league's greats, writes Fox Sports staff writers, has revealed he has the disorder which affects the brain. The former Canterbury, New South Wales Blues and Australia great wants the modern day player and supporters to understand the seriousness of head knocks and why he supports NRL chairman Peter VLandys' clampdown on high tackles. When we were playing, it was okay. Playing grand finals or state of origins or playing for your country, it's great. You don't think about it. But now, when we're sitting down and having a talk about it, it gives us a chance to have a real good think about where my brain is going. The 64-year-old remembers having 3 serious head knocks, and he was officially diagnosed with the condition in March, but believes he has been troubled by dementia for some time now. I can't think of things. I used to be able to talk better on TV. I go on thinking, and forgetting a person's name. That was his way of saying it during an interview that he made. Mortimer said, seriously, I was told about it March. I think it has been a lot to do with, look, it doesn't matter what it has to do with. Pressed on whether if it has a lot to do with knocks he suffered during his playing days, he said absolutely. Ever since the NRL crackdown on high contact during the Magic Round 3rd weekend 3 weeks ago, the game supporters and players have been divided on the hardline stance. And it's Mortimer threw his support behind VLandys, which is he's right to do so, as he says that it's this that's affected. I said, you have just got to forget all those people who are against you. Mortimer said about this conversation with VLandys on Monday, and these blokes who want to stick it up at Peter VLandys or whatever have no bloody idea. So strong words about the rules and why he supports the outcome, which I have no problem with. It's just the way that they've implemented it. It's sad. It's going to be a good thing in the long run. Don't get me wrong. It's just the way that it's been implemented. Rugby is a tough enough game. We know that. That's why there's so many things coming in to stop foul play for one, and now, well, the rules on bicepping. That's why it was outlawed, because there was more concussions. Don't get me wrong, it was a spectacle to see players flying here, there and everywhere, as long as they got up and were fine afterwards. But players on the floor, that wasn't a good sign for me. Go have a watch on YouTube videos and see what I mean by that. Big hits, bicepping, shoulder charges. Accidents will happen, and that's what the league have got to determine. But it shouldn't. I don't know if it should be sendings off and yellow cards for what look like decent tackles which are called back. They should be put on report and then deal with it afterwards, as so many panelists have said. And we need to, on the flip side, look after the people that are playing the sport, as we want them playing the sport, as they're the entertainers for us. But that's my 2 penneth on that. Tell me what your thoughts are in the comments, and let me know if I'm right, if I'm wrong, Where do you think it'll go from here? So that's it for another video, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate all the likes, the comments, everything else that you guys do. Please remember, like, subscribe and share the video worldwide. I'll stop throwing my magic marker at you after that. But in the meantime, race to 100. We need that 100 subscribers. T-shirts are still waiting. But for now, enjoy your weekend's rugby. And everyone get ready for the Origins starting this Wednesday.